I'm going to talk through what the 1% project is. So this is my system that I use for myself and now with my clients as well. At this point, I've used it with over 150 clients to help them build, a body they're proud of and a lifestyle that works for them and helps them to reach their goals as well. So the core idea behind the 1% project is building elite health for top performers. So the main outcome is building a body that reflects your career success. So I call it the 1% stack. So a lot of the people I work with have reached the top 1% in terms of wealth or, in their career. And they want to build a body that matches that. So they want to build a top 1% body as well to complete the stack. So that's the core idea. We're combining physical excellence, cognitive performance, and longevity as well. And that comes down to building what I call an athlete's body. So that's a body that's firstly functional, it's pain-free, and then it looks good as well. So this isn't for people who want to get really, huge, tons of muscle in their body. They want to look good and they want to feel good. And then we tap into what I call performance nutrition. And performance in this situation, that's both physical performance, so at the gym, but also cognitive performance as well. So that's achieving, good focus at work, making good decisions, being able to stay focused during long days. And it's showing up at home as well and performing there, both physically and mentally or cognitively as well. So the 1% project has 4 pillars. Training, which is the foundation of physical excellence. We focus on strength, mobility, and cardiovascular efficiency. Then we work on nutrition, which is all about fueling the body and brain, which is what I was just talking about in terms of performance nutrition. So we're focusing on real non-toxic food, increasing protein intake, optimizing timing, and then just metabolic optimization in general. A lot of metabolic health comes down to nutrition. So training is obviously really important. That taps into metabolism as well. But nutrition is going to be the main lever mover when it comes to improving your metabolism. And then we've got health span. So a big thing for me is obviously we want to live long lives, but we want those years to be good years. So we want to live well, not just long. So this is really tapping into improving our health in the long run. So obviously we want to look and feel good now, but we want to also look at what can we do right now that's going to help us in the long run and help us stay functional. That's a huge focus for us, is staying functional for a long time to come, as well as having energy levels. A lot of people, their energy decreases as they get older, they become less functional. It's a cycle. We want to break that cycle even potentially before it's happened so that you can keep your energy levels up and stay functional for a long time to come, because so much of aging is about use it or lose it. And that's true for everything. Like, obviously, muscle mass after you turn 30, muscle mass is going to start decreasing if you're not proactive about it. Same with power, balance, all of that sort of stuff is going to decrease if you're not using it. So that's a big focus for us. I want to help my clients, reach 70, 80 years old and be able to lunge, because if you can't lunge and you trip when you're 80, you're not going to be able to catch yourself, because tripping, you put a foot forward to catch yourself, that's a lunge. If you can't lunge, you're more likely to fall. And we all know what happens. You break a hip, it's not good. So I want to make sure we're putting things in place now so that you're healthy for a long time to come. And that's also going to include obviously recovery, but even things like gut health and managing your toxic load as well. We're exposed to so many toxins these days, and helping your body better deal with them is going to be really helpful for long-term health and just how you feel in general. And then the 4th pillar is performance optimization. So like I said, this is both physical and mental. It could also come down to emotional as well. Essentially just being the best you can be in every aspect of life. So that's my ultimate goal. My goal is excellence in every area of life. And that's largely what my clients' goals are as well. So this is what I help them with. So that's going to be about improving brain health, which is going to help with mood and cognitive performance. So at work, that's going to help them show up better at work, as well as show up better for their families. And this is also where we're going to start incorporating key habits and building out routines so that you can achieve that optimal performance in both work and in life. So here's just a little visual on the 4 pillars. So training, nutrition, health span, and performance optimization. So these are our key areas of focus within the 1% project. So I just want to break these down a little bit more in terms of what we're actually working on. So in regards to training, the key thing is my 90-minute strength training system. So these are efficient, high-impact strength sessions that are designed to build lean muscle and improve metabolism. So like I said, we're not trying to get huge here. We're just trying to look good, feel good, and actually have functional muscle on our body. And this is done in usually about 90 minutes per week. For some of my clients who are really busy or, they have a crazy travel schedule, we put this down to just 60 minutes, but 90 minutes is ideal. This is usually a lot less time than most people have been spending in the gym. For a lot of my clients, when they come to me, one of the first things I need to do is explain that they don't need to be in the gym for like 5 or 6 hours a week. And it's usually counterproductive. So 90 minutes a week, focused strength training sessions that are built specifically for you and your goals, looking at obviously any injuries or mobility restrictions you have, which we're obviously going to try to improve, but we'll work with where you are right now to make sure that those 90 minutes are really high impact so you can see really good results in a short amount of time. I also get all my clients doing mobility. So mobility has been a huge focus for me recently, and it makes such a big difference. And obviously, a big thing is avoiding injuries. Like if you're not moving well, and if your joints can't move through a full range of motion, or at least a pretty good range of motion, you are setting yourself up for injury, painful movement. Obviously, that's not going to help with our goal of health span and longevity. And your training won't be as efficient as well, because a lot of the muscle we build is going to happen when we're getting into those bigger ranges of motion, when we're really stretching our muscles. For example, we'll think of like a squat. So if you're squatting to 90 degrees, that's great. But if you can squat lower than that, you're really going to stretch your quads. So those muscles on the front of your legs. And the more you can stretch those, the more that muscle is going to grow. So that's a really big focus for us as well. And then we get into VO2 max optimization. So usually starting with zone 2 cardio, which is also going to help with brain health, but just cardiovascular health in general is obviously an important focus. And then later on, we tend to get into VO2 max training, which is a little bit more advanced, a little bit more intense, but also really powerful for health span and longevity and just how you feel in general. And our overall goal here is to build an athlete's body that's strong, functional, and resilient. Then we get into nutrition. So again, this is about fueling both the body and the brain, where we're going to be focusing on real non-toxic food, increasing protein, improving meal timing, and improving your metabolism as well. So my main mechanism here is what I call my PEAS protocol. So this is protein, eating while the sun's up, avoiding snacks, and opting for single ingredient foods. So if you follow those 4 things, you're going to be pretty okay with nutrition. Obviously, nutrition can get really nuanced and complicated, but if you get this right, you're at least 80%, if not 90% of the way there. We also get into clean eating. So like I said earlier, we're exposed to so many toxins, additives, inflammatory foods these days that if you just remove those, you're going to see the needle move a lot in your results, both in how you feel and how you look as well. So a lot of this is cutting things out, but a lot of the time it's more just about making a better swap. So you might be having a certain yogurt for breakfast, which when you check the ingredients actually has some not ideal things in it. We don't have to cut yogurt out. We're just going to swap it for something that is cleaner and is going to support your goals better. And then we optimize the timing of your food. So eating in alignment with your natural rhythms is an easy way to get your nutrition to work for you. So there's certain times of day when our body's more primed to take on calories or take on certain macronutrients like carbohydrates. And a lot of nutrition optimization is just getting the timing right of our food, timing food around workouts properly, both before and after, and around that daily circadian rhythm as well. So our main goal here is fueling your body and your brain for maximum energy. We were looking at fat loss usually and improving your cognitive performance as well. Then with health span, we're looking at both longevity, but vitality as well here. So the main mechanisms we're looking at are reducing inflammation. So a lot of that's going to come down to the nutrition that we're eating, but it's also going to come into like cortisol management is going to be important, as well as looking at some supplements in certain situations where someone might have a high level of inflammation and we want to get some supplements on board to directly target that inflammation. And then sleep also comes under here. So obviously sleep is crucial in terms of, detox, obviously recovery, brain health, physical health, immunity, inflammation, stress. Like sleep is key. So we want to make sure that we're optimizing your routines, both the morning routine and then the pre-sleep routine as well. If you get those right, you're going to be, 80 to 90% of the way to great sleep. And then we will also, if possible, use sleep tracking so that just so we have some objective data that we can look at. So things like Oura Ring and a Whoop are really good for tracking objective data so we can see how the changes we're making are impacting your sleep. And again, we can look into targeted supplementation here as well, which is often quite helpful for most people. And then again, we're looking at mobility, but also recovery as well. So that mobility is going to be key for longevity and health span, and then certain recovery techniques as well, which, we can get into like advanced red light therapy. Again, supplements can be helpful here also. And then detox. So we want to firstly minimize the toxins that are coming into our body. That's the biggest thing, is just reducing our toxic load. So reducing all the toxins we're exposed to, because it's better to, prevent them from coming into the system instead of just focusing on clearing them out. But we can't avoid everything. So we do want to make sure our body is optimized for getting the toxins out of our body. So this is about opening up detox pathways, making sure, the liver and kidneys are functioning properly because they're our main detox organs. And in some situations, we can go into a more advanced detox as well, which can be, up to 4 months, sometimes 5 months, to really get rid of all the toxins that are in our body. This also includes things like mold. If you've been drinking tap water, that's a big thing. If you've been using commercial toothpaste, skincare products, soaps, cleaning products, all that sort of thing, they're full of toxins that actually accumulate in our body and wreak havoc on it. So we want to make sure we're getting those out. We also want to make sure the gut's healthy. So gut health is key for hormones, inflammation, brain health, general health, and energy. So for a lot of people, that involves healing the gut, because most people actually don't have a healthy gut, and then maintenance strategies to make sure the gut stays healthy long term. And then there are also some targeted supplements and other advanced protocols that will help with improving longevity as well. So the main goal here is to improve your health span so that you can perform at your best physically and mentally for a long time to come. So not just right now. And performance optimization, which is our fourth pillar. So brain health, getting your habits right, getting your routines right, is going to be really big here. And even things like productivity and time management as well. Something I've found, especially working with really busy people like executives and business owners, is that so much of getting in shape is about managing your time well, because that's usually the biggest barriers. Like you don't have time to get to the gym. Obviously, the 90-minute workout system is going to help with that. And you don't have time to cook meals or, do meal prep and that sort of thing. So much of it does come down to time management, also energy management as well. Like if you're tired after work, getting to the gym and doing a decent workout is going to be really hard. So we want to make sure we're managing your energy. We want to make sure that you are productive with work and everything else you have to do in your life so that you do have time for these things. And then just getting your routines right. So I just call that like setting yourself up for success, because routines automate the most important things in our life. So the more you can automate these lever moving habits, the more successful you're going to be. And in terms of what this actually looks like with my clients is that there are 3 phases. So phase 1 is about building the foundation, essentially doing a metabolic reset there. So we're resetting and establishing some baseline habits that are going to support you and your goals. We want to clear out what's been slowing down your metabolism. So I call this removing the metabolic blocks or clogs, because there are a ton of them out there that essentially clog up your metabolism, and it makes weight loss pretty much impossible if things are clogged up. And that's going to allow us to kickstart fat loss. And then that's also going to improve energy levels. Obviously, improving energy levels makes it easier to eat well, go to the gym, do all the things you need to do. So it's kind of like a cycle. It's like a flywheel here. We start with 2 to 3 strength sessions. We introduce the PEAS protocol, starting to eliminate inflammatory foods, basic recovery, sleep, increasing daily movement, and just getting your weekly and daily routines dialed in as well. Then in phase 2, we start scaling these results. So we're going to start working on things like hormone health. We're going to improve your strength training, start incorporating things like VO2 max where that's relevant. We're going to fine tune nutrition even more, keep increasing protein intake to make sure you're building muscle and losing fat. And we'll probably introduce some more supplements as well, which will be more targeted. So in phase 1, I usually give my clients just like a baseline, foundational supplements that most people should be taking. In phase 2 is when we get into more personalized, targeted supplementation based on where you're at and what your goals are as well. And then phase 3 is about mastery and sustainability. So here's where we want to make sure that you're mastering these habits so that you can stick with them for a long time to come. But we're also going to be incorporating more advanced protocols. So this is for people who are open to that or are needing that in terms of inflammation. We'll get into more detox and cleanses here, and just making sure that your routines are really supporting your goals long term. So this is the 1% project. So this is for people who are high performers. They're looking for results in their physical and, even mental cognitive health that matches their career success. Because I know building a business or, getting higher up in your career, it's so easy to let health be the last thing on your to-do list, which might work well now, but it's definitely not going to work long term. So if any of this resonated with you, feel free to reach out. I can give you more information about what it kind of, more logistics around what this actually looks like, how I'm actually helping people. But this is what's worked for me. This is what's worked for my clients. This is something I'm really excited about because I think so many people are living below their potential. And I think it's a lot simpler and easier to reach your full potential than people realize. Like, modern media has made it seem like it's hard. There's all these complicated things, and we can make this complicated. Like I said, we might use advanced strategies like red light therapy or supplements, but I think it's a lot easier than people think once they have a plan that's actually going to work with their schedule. And I believe that health is the vehicle to total self-improvement. So my goal in life is first for myself to become excellent, top 1% in everything I'm doing, but then to also help others as well. So let me know if this resonated with you. I'd love to chat more about it because this is something that I'm really passionate about.